Hello, everyone. It's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah.
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube and Twitter for AEWramble episode 72, the Absolute Edition, reviewing the December 14th, 2022 edition of AEW Dynamite with the third annual Winter is Coming special. I am here with a man of 47,000 subscribers. You go to him for your TV and movie reviews, your honest criticisms of Tony Khan, and disclaimers. He is Jimmy Macram.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome.
Welcome to the show, the most unique and hilarious AEW Dynamite review on YouTube today. I'm just feeding back what people have told me and why you come back every Thursday.
Like that. That's what you say about ugly babies. My baby's unique looking. Yeah.
You come back every week, Thursday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. We want to thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you. Show your appreciation back. Drop the thumbs up on the video. Share it with your friends. Subscribe if you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel and hit that bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We want to hear from all of you. Give us your thoughts on AEW Dynamite Winter is Coming 2022 in the live chat. And of course, super chat donations. Make sure we highlight your comment on screen. And it's the holiday season. If you're feeling generous, we always appreciate that. Annika says, let's go. This will be interesting to see if Jimmy gets any disclaimers today. Wow, that must mean Annika liked the show, I guess. Safet says, sup guys, welcome Safet. We got Caden in the chat who joined us for our ROH Final Battle 2022. This man went to Dynamite last week, ROH Final Battle, and Winter is Coming.
Ain't you remember last week?
Yes. And
I ain't seen not one super chat. Just saying, might be time to block some motherfuckers in there.
You did, yo, that was great. That was great. That was excellent timing. Santo says, "What's up to the best duo in the IWC podcast land?"
Wow.
I don't know if Jimmy wants to be a part of the IWC, but we appreciate that. Frantic World says, "What's up, SP3, Jimmy and Chad?" CM says, "I miss Thunder Rosa." I do too. I think everyone not named Britt Baker or Jamie Hayter, they miss her.
I'm sure everybody does. She's so pleasant backstage, apparently.
Oh, I love that.
Don't get mad at me, sir, wherever you are. I know you're out there watching somewhere. Tall, bald, white guy.
If they didn't call it Winter is Coming in 2019, that means it wasn't Winter is Coming. The first Winter is Coming was 2020. The second one was 2021. And this is the third annual.
What was the first one called? Dynamite fucking December.
Dynamite in December. Yeah. CM says Jimmy has been doing well with disclaimers. Yeah, on average, over the last 2 weeks, you only averaged 2 disclaimers. And a lot of that was from last week. AOW's in the chat joining us. We got Ace here. We got One Mike Nation. Thank you all. We got Khalil here. Hook Nation. A lot of the Hook fans is back in the chat. It's a good day.
We ain't talking about that. We gotta talk about that nonsense.
We eating. They feeded us. We feed us Hook fans for the end of the year, 1 year anniversary. Sabet says the last 48 hours has been a wild 2 days in wrestling. Yeah, let's touch on that because we don't always get Jimmy's, point of view on WWE things. So when we have him here on Thursday, we like to address all the things that are going on in wrestling. It's been a wild week. I said earlier this week, I was like, I'm not gonna go live when one of the first news stories went drop. Then a bigger news story dropped yesterday. I was like, I'm not gonna go live. I'm gonna save it all for True Hill Heat. They made it very easy to make a thumbnail and to write the agenda for this week's True Hill Heat. But first big news story of the week this week, Jimmy, was Vince McMahon. The Wall Street Journal had a new expose on Vince McMahon, unearthing some legal matters from two of the women that he allegedly had sexual misconduct allegations with. They are getting legal. They're now making it a legal matter for him. And also, they spoken to people close to Vince McMahon who have said that Vince is aiming towards a comeback and feels like he was misled on stepping down from the company. And he believed that if he would have stayed on, things would have passed over and he could have been fine.
I don't know how much of this to believe. All right, I'll tell you how much I want to believe. Zero of it. I don't want to believe Vince is coming back at all. It hurts my soul. I love Vince. He's the greatest wrestling villain ever. Argue with your mama. But can we admit, I know we always say the last 5-10 years have been awful. It's been a while. As a matter of fact, now that I look back at some of the stuff I enjoyed in the Attitude Era, I'm not sure he's responsible for any of it outside of being a fantastic on-screen character. I don't know if he's any good. I'm sorry. And I know he's not good the last 15 years. I don't need to see any of it. I've been watching Triple H book, and he's not great. He's better than Tony Khan. He's not great. Vince is just so incompetent and out of his mind.
It's because he went for so long as being the almighty power in WWE without being checked. He was unchecked for so long. And, you could say there are some people that were like, no, he used to be great and he just got old. Yeah, but in most sports and stuff like that, when someone gets old, 9 times out of 10, they're going to retire before it gets too bad. No, we lived with 10 years of this guy not knowing what the fuck he was doing or not caring about what the fuck that's the big thing. That's what I think it is, because that's the biggest difference that I see between Vince McMahon booking WWE and Triple H booking WWE is Triple H cares.
Yes. He's got something to prove. And shocking that this works, he has a boss. Not his boss is his wife, but still, there's a piper to pay. Vince hasn't had a boss ever.
He had the board of directors when they went public.
Yeah, and even then, what are you gonna do? What the fuck are you actually gonna do? I can't see him being allowed in, at least to his previous position. I can't see how that would work. It is a publicly traded company with sponsors and things like this. That would be a major issue, especially with 2 new situations to deal with. So I'm not too worried. He might come back as what will they give him? A advisory consulship, some nonsense where he's still
that's what I always thought they would do. I thought when he stepped down from CEO and chairman that he would just become a consultant. He still owns the majority voting power in WWE, even with giving up enough shares to say that he stepped down. He still owns all that voting power. So I always thought he would be a consultant. I didn't think we would get the formal retirement thing that we got in July.
He did. I don't know if that's why he retired. Apparently it is. If that's why he retired, then he did get bad legal advice. Wrestling fans don't focus on anything too long, especially when it comes to women. They don't care. Sorry, it is what it is. What was I going to say? Somebody said he could just buy all the shares out and take his company private. Are you insane? You know how much that would cost? This man does not have that kind of money. That is preposterous. Take his company private. What is this, fucking Elon Musk? Are you out of your fucking mind?
Not with all the money he's probably got to give back to the company with all the people he was paying with company money. I mean,
And all those lawsuits.
yeah, Vince just saw the WWE product. He was like making sense, whole bunch of wrestling, more women, and he just sat there and he was
serious.
like,
I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
I have a question. What would you prefer? Getting old and looking old, or getting old and getting a facelift where your face looks all shiny? Because it hurts me to look at Vince these days. I'm sorry, it does. I just go, what did he do to his face? Oh my God! Nobody wants to get old. I get it. I'm just saying.
yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
Okay.
He looks like he's wearing Hollywood makeup on his face. Like Hollywood, like they put a plastic face over his old face.
Stretched back face. Ugh.
Annika says, Satan, Vince coming back. I rebuke you. I rebuke thee. CF says, Vince definitely wants to come back. He's bored and can't handle not manipulating people.
Have you read Jim Ross's last book? The one he read when he
No.
left WWE? Oh my God. Here's some shit about Vince. Just being mean. Just a mean someone. It's shocking. He was taking it easy on. I was like, God damn.
He was like, I think Vince actually liked me.
Yes. What the fuck's wrong with this guy?
Oh man, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for Vince McMahon's comeback. And then the other big news happened yesterday, Jimmy, where former NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose shockingly was released by WWE. Apparently, she had content on her fan time page that went against WWE's agreement with Mattel, and it was very provocative and exotic content to the point that they felt that she had to be released. It was a very last minute decision. They found out about Shawn Michaels found out about the content and basically decided to get the title off of her on Tuesday's NXT, and then she was released yesterday morning. So what do you think about any kind of, we've gotten mixed reports from a lot of people saying that she was shocked by this. There wasn't any like warning or anything like that. So
how racy were these pictures? We mean I can try to find them. Of course you should try to find them.
I've seen them.
I've seen them. Maybe I'm jaded.
Yeah.
Our content was leaked.
Mind the badges you can get, not the ones you wish you could.
What was I going to say? Well, content wasn't. Well, yeah, her content was leaked, but that's the content that's on the site. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're responsible for that. I don't think she's being fired for more than 2,000 people seeing it. By the way, she charges $40 a month for her fucking content. I don't know how much money she makes, but assuming there's 1,000 losers out there, wouldn't pay $40. That's
she's making it was revealed she's making more money from that than she was with WWE, and she was on a WWE main roster contract.
I'm gonna say she's got at least 1,500 people paying for it. 60,000. So let's say $50,000 a month. Just minus. So 60,000 minus taxes. Let's call it 50. Jesus. I don't think she should be fired for that. I just don't. I'm going to.
We got CM who says, "Nah, leave pirated content alone. Let her make her money since WWE makes them pay for like everything."
They do.
I
wonder if they wanted a piece of that, and she said no.
I think that there's a lot that we don't know about this whole story, honestly.
Yeah, I can't buy. You pay and fat and peace. Don't agree. Don't leak it.
Don't leak it. Don't leak
That's
it.
the only part I agree with. Don't leak it. All the rest of the announcers talking about whatever.
Whatever.
It's hard for me to buy somebody saw this picture and then she was fired. That's the least likely scenario to me. I don't know if they warned her and she said fuck off, or fucking she decided to take the loss. Because if she makes more money here, then she can make up whatever she loses in the WWE someplace else. I mean, that's not even that difficult. Or maybe a sponsor. You said Mattel. That makes a lot more sense. Sponsor called somebody, and they panicked. This is gross. I gotta be honest. It all feels gross to me. Not the Manny part. If somebody comes at my neck, I'm just saying it feels gross if somebody get fired for it. without a warning. That's what happened. Which is
Yeah.
outrageous. They said take it down. He went. She looked at her wallet and said,
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this decision."
"I'm gonna
Then,
pass on that."
then it's different. But if they just fired her because the content was out there and just let her go like that, that's a little bit different, especially during the holiday season. It's like, and you get, and then these WWE fans must be in a conundrum. They can't even blame Vince for this one. Like they're like, damn, like shit.
How much of this situation paid off here? I wonder why. Because you got a lot of Vince's thing is sex related. Now, granted, it's kind of weird.
But they've over-sexualized her on TV for well over a year. Even before her whole character change on NXT, they sexualized her, and she was this sexual goddess and being. But they have made it. That's how they build her. That's literally what Corey Graves.
I have to hear this.
Goddess, yeah, all this
goddess
stuff,
and being. Okay.
all this stuff. And then they made her toxic attraction where they're, pushing her sex appeal and everything. And then she can't make any guapa for it. That don't seem right.
You know what? The more I hear about this, the more I think this is, we're not legally owed a cut of your money. And this could open up some bad doors where motherfuckers not paying us. So I'm going to pass on that. You can beat it. Yeah. Take a walk. God's greatest creation. Well, that's not sexual in nature. And to be fair, that's a stretch. She's very pretty.
Romeo says if you don't have Honor Club, you're a quarter of the way to that subscription for her page. So it's smart business plan right there.
It's $40 to see Mandy Rose. She's very attractive, but like, why don't you spend a little money on the internet? You get like 4 porn subscriptions on.
CM says Vince definitely spent mad money on her page.
Vince has got cameras in the locker room that they ain't found yet.
Yeah, he's good. He is good. We got Ricky who says she'll come to AEW and continue to make her money. I don't know how TBS or TNT is Warner Media is gonna feel about Mandy Rose.
Well, Saraya's there, ain't she?
Yeah, that's true. But
yes, not the same. Hers were leaked.
Yeah. CM says thank you, SP3. She was always this highly sexual being. Yeah.
Why do we keep using being? What's wrong? Is that something that they say on TV?
God's greatest creation.
Do they call her being on TV? That's the third being I've heard.
Frantic says I can see Saraya, Mercedes, and Mandy together in AEW. Now you're getting greedy. Relax.
Very greedy.
Relax. Take some water. But let's
at least for 1 month. I'd pay for Sasha Banks's OnlyFans. I spent for the outrageous amount she would charge for that first month. I made $300 for it.
The words and opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
I'm talking all this shit about how you shouldn't pay. If she fucking had an OnlyFans, I'd pay whatever ridiculous amount she had for the first month.
Anywho, let's get into last night's AEW Dynamite. Winter is coming. Keep those comments coming in the live chat. Like I said before, super chat donations are always appreciated. They're so important to what we do here. We're a self-funded channel, so there's always help out us, especially during the holiday season. But let's talk about Winter is Coming 2022. It was from Garland, Texas. What did you think about this crowd? Which I will say myself first, Timmy. This is one of the best crowds of the year for AEW.
That's what I've been saying. We should only go to the slave states because they be so appreciative of some wrestling.
The words and opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
We open
maybe it's just the Texas.
Oh, we open things up. We gotta mention our childhood was back for this show, Jimmy, because Tony Khan would have spent money on the NBA on NBC theme, Round Ball Rock. Oh my God! Like that is this brings my brain back to the 90s, watching Michael Jordan and the Bulls running high, the old school Knicks. Like it doesn't matter where that song shows up. That immediately is the thought in your mind that nostalgia takes you.
Yeah, I think Bulls Pacers and Bulls Knicks immediately off the top of my fucking head. Why? But why though?
Because it's a best of seven. Best of sevens are associated with the NBA. NBA on NBC. Round Ball Rock.
Hilarious. Well, we know Kenny Omega's not going to win in 6, so Michael Jordan analogy is already out the window.
He's LeBron. He's LeBron. He's GOAT Omega. Let's talk about match 4, game 4 of the best of 7 series with the Elite coming out first to face off with the champions Death Triangle. The Elite down 1-2. They can tie things up in this matchup. And so, of course, new match, new story. The story kind of came to play in the opening minutes here. The Elite were looking good. They were firing on all cylinders. They wanted to tie things up. They did a pair of thighs with Omega and Matt, and then Nick with a spectacular twisting tornado down to the floor, but he came up limping after the dive. They sprayed cold spray on him. They had the docs check him out, and he was taken to the back. So it was now 3-on-2 in the matchup, making this instantly different from the first 3 matchups, which I always have to note there. You had Matt with showing off his power with a Northern Light suplex after a roll up on Phoenix. He got the heat on him from Death Triangle, and then he tagged into Omega, who ran wild with Snapdragon suplexes. He was looking very good until he was taken down, and he looked for the tag on Matt, but Penta took out Matt with the Fear Factor package power driver on the apron. So it was now 3-on-1 until Nick Jackson pulling a Paul Pierce in the 2008 NBA Finals, coming out limping, coming back to be on the side of his team to get the tag from Kenny Omega. He comes in, and I love his selling here. Where he wasn't the real athletic Nick Jackson that we usually expect. He was just clothesline, big punches. He caught Phoenix with a diamond cutter in midair. He looked like he was all in control, but he went for the super kick on Phoenix. Phoenix caught him. Penta came in with the hammer, knocks his ankle with the hammer, and then Phoenix, although conflicted, locks on a heel hook as Pac holds on to Omega yet again, this time putting him in the brutalizer as he's holding on to Omega. Omega frantically trying to grab at the referee to stop him from seeing the tap out as Nick Jackson taps out to give Death Triangle the 3-1 lead as they head into game 5, match 5 next week, the holiday batch. Death Triangle once again using the hammer to their advantage, and that led to our post-match where Kenny Omega got on the mic. He said he's sick of them using the hammer, and he wants the hammer legal. He wants all weapons legal for next week's match 5, and it's made official later on in the night. Next week's match 5 on the holiday batch will be a no disqualification, and then later on in the night, Tony Khan announced that match 6, if necessary, if the Elite wins, it will be Falls Count Anywhere on December 28th. And if the Elite are able to force a game 7, match 7 on the January 11th AEW Dynamite, it will be Escalera del Muerte, a ladder match with these 6 men. This is exactly what a lot of people were calling for at the beginning of the feud. I thought this match was fun. It was different from the first 2 matches. 15 minutes, so just the right amount of time. I love the selling by Nick Jackson. He was kind of the MVP of this matchup and the focus here. But I enjoyed the matchup, and I like the fact that they added stipulations to these next couple of matchups to make them different from the previous 4. But what did you think, Jimmy?
Later on in the night? No, it was not announced later on in the night. It was announced during the fucking main event. As Ricky Starks and MJF were going at it, we had a fucking WCW ass. Hey, don't worry about this goofy shit. The NWO shit is happening later on tonight. Like,
before the main event, it was like Excalibur missed the call, because before the main event they showed the graphic, and the graphic did show match 5 no DQ, match 6 Falls Count Anywhere, and match 7 Escalera de la Muerte. I just think that he missed the call or just forgot to call it, because they remember. He started saying it, but then they put up the MJF graphic, so he said, fuck it, and then he went to the MJF thing. So you know what? We're not blaming Excalibur, even though he's a bum. We're blaming fucking whoever the Kevin Dunn is, Kevin Sullivan, backstage. It's your fault again, sir. No, it's the new guy.
He's not a hands-on guy. He's a top guy. Who's the operator guy? It's that guy.
Oh, okay. The guy pushing the buttons. Not the guy behind the main cam.
Yes. I was about to trash the Elite for a big step in MJF's moment. I apologize. You're right. They were going to announce it. You're right. Fair enough.
He was ready.
He was so ready.
He was ready to make a whole argument about how they're the LVP for Big League and MJF.
All right. As for this match, to me, this was my favorite match of the series. Not the best, before you lose your mind. My favorite match of the series. It had an actual story. It made relative sense. Nick Jackson is fantastic. I love that he changed his outfits when he came out. I kept waiting for him to fuck it up, but he didn't. He was amazing. Only thing wrong with this match is the complete fucking unathleticism of Matt Jackson. Have you seen him run? Have you seen him run? It's so weird. He's such a weirdly built person. That was mean, but I'm sorry.
So mean?
That was gonna be. I was trying to.
The words and opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
Find a clip of him running. I'm gonna send it to you, and we're just gonna play it every time. It'll be the new fucking disclaimer of Matt Jackson. You gotta watch him tag Omega. He had to run from the middle of the ring to tag Omega, and he had to take 2 steps. And they looked so bad. Whenever you've seen Attack on Titan, he runs like one of those fucking dumb Titans. Like, sir, Jesus, you really built. All right, I'm not gonna get distracted.
I was just letting you go. At this point.
This is great. I love the hammer spot. It's probably my favorite use of the hammer. You know what? Actually, you know what? The pay-per-view hammer spot was pretty good too with Phoenix. I wish we kind of didn't get that, and this was finally the use of the hammer here. But you know what? I'm not gonna complain. This was great. This was great.
The hammer is kind of just that's the story. That's the story of the series so far. That's been the difference maker for Death
It's been dumb.
Huh?
It's only made Phoenix look like an idiot and a hypocritical idiot at that. Like, how dare you complain after every time we use it when you the one that fucking started the
You started. You gave us the 1-0 lead by using it.
We just needed a promo of like Phoenix saying his mom called him, was very disappointed or something. Like,
yeah. We need that little addition. I do wish that Death Triangle got some type of promo time in between these matches.
Do we still think the Elite wins?
Yes, I would have. My main nitpick, I do agree with you. This was probably the best psychology-based match of the series.
Oh, good.
No, come on.
Sorry, I apologize.
Stop it. You're being outrageous. But yeah, I this was the best psychology-based matchup of the series so far, so I like that. But my main nitpick is that I wish that we probably could have done this angle next week, because I felt like this was the week the Elite should have won. The series is much more interesting going into match 5 and match 6 if it's 2-2 than 3-1. Because we kind of already know the Elite is winning the next 2.
At the very least, yes. You know what? Agreed. I'm kind of hoping they don't win so we can move on to Elite versus House of Black.
Oh, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for this. I think the Escalera de la Muerte is probably going to be one of the most nuts ladder matches that's ever been seen on network television, with these E6 guys involved and trying to top themselves after 6 matches. And what I want is a broken down Elite winning that match and the lights go out. What I said at Full Gear, for Full Gear, I want it to happen in LA. The lights go out and House of Black destroys them, and we set up Revolution.
I'm not mad at that. I do want to say this because I'll forget. I always criticize the Elite when they do the dumb, awful fucking everybody super kicks everybody and drop kicks everybody and flips up. That's all dumb. But the beginning of this match I thought was great. Was it Nick and who?
Was it Nick and Penta?
Yes. Beginning? But they kept countering each other. Nick was trying to do his spots and cutting them off. That's how it should work. Like, we're trying to fight.
Yeah, the one spot that I really liked was when they kept doing the others move right after each other when they were going through each other's legs. He was like, I can do that shit too. That's basically how he came off.
That was great. It's not better this way. I mean, Will Phoenix turned. It's the same thing that happened if he didn't hit the guy with the hammer in the first match. We could have had it already. We weren't doing it. Then we decided to give it away. This best of 7 feels very last second to me. This is the last second. Ooh, this could be fun.
I think the match was so great. He was like, He had a thought. During Full Gear right after the match. Ooh. And then by after Saraya versus Britt, I think that's when he was like, you know what? We should do a best of 7. Tell him
you might be onto something.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. Like, I just don't. It doesn't feel like this has been all that planned out to me. Not mad at it. It's been fun so far.
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. And it's getting over the trios titles. That's the most important thing of this whole best of 7 is establishing those trios titles. We got CM, of course, your lawyer in the chat, giving us the count here. The ones and twos over here. We also got our main man, Caden, listening to you. Caden out here like, nah, Jimmy, I ain't gonna have you call me out. Thank you, Caden, with the super chat donation. He says, here you go, Jimmy. Show was great. You're welcome for the great crowd. Please move the show to Dallas and not Garland. It's so far.
I apologize. Well, thank you for the super chat. Well, I shouldn't thank you. Thank you on behalf of them. It's fucking money. It's Romeo and Sid's money. I don't see it. Enjoy it. I'm glad you sent it.
Hey, we could do an even exchange here. Like, any money, my videos on your channel get, we could talk
Which
about
videos?
Exactly. It's been some time, sir. I've been here. I've been in these streets. We got Ricky who's letting us know I'm going to be at Dynamite in San Antonio.
When's this?
I think that's the one next week.
Oh my God, another great crowd.
I know the final Texas crowd before they end off the year. I believe it's in Denver.
Since we're doing NBA stuff, we should have Taz talk about them big old women in San Antonio.
No, what I want is Omega getting on the mic after they win Game 7 and say anything's possible. I want LeBron James inviting Kenny Omega on the shop and telling him how to come back from a 3-1 deficit. That's the type of material I want.
You talk about how this one made me the greatest of all time. With big ass graphic of fucking Ric Flair behind him. I think this one made me the greatest of all time. How dare you, sir? How dare you?
We also got Annika who says, please don't let the Elite be the Cavs in this game, this 7-game 3-1 scenario. Don't happen. You don't want match 7? Come on, everybody wants to see that match 7.
They should lose in 6. If we're gonna be fucking risque.
Back is Michael Jordan. There we go. Back is the real GOAT. Back is the real GOAT. He's like, nah, I'm not going into the new year with this still going on. We got Cia saying that's definitely a truth, to be honest. Chair Relax saying Elite does not need the belt.
Agreed.
Yeah, but it's
their belt.
It's their belt. It's only the belts are only there because of the Elite. We got Chase saying for sure go into the Forum show. So we got a couple of people. Caden's going to another show. God damn, Caden, who the hell? How the hell you got all this money?
Is school out? Motherfucker skipping class to go see Dynamite. It's outrageous.
He was like, don't you got school the next day? You got a test. One Mike Nation say agreed. Jimmy, Death Triangle and 6.
Wouldn't that be shocking? Wouldn't we all be like, what?
It would. I don't want that, but it would. Next we go backstage and we got the AEW World Champion MJF. He's talking about how Ricky Starks worked hard to get here and now everyone wants to see him win the big one. He talks about Ricky whining last week. Oh, I had to work so hard. Oh, I had to eat out of fish gun. All this. He says, yeah, MJF was born privileged and with a silver spoon in his mouth, but he is just better than Ricky at everything, and he knows it. I thought this was another spectacular promo from MJF, just coming out and kind of ripping apart that promo from Ricky last week, saying that every time you got stuff, you said, give me a break, and all that stuff. MJF, he's just great at the response promo the following week.
That was really good. I gotta be honest. Once he was done, I had the same phone I had last week. It's like they really need to let Ricky respond, otherwise he just got buried. But no, of course. MJF was great. And they did give Ricky a promo later. So
yeah,
there was that.
They did a great job of building up this main event throughout the show. Throughout the show, they just kept making sure you knew it was going to happen. You knew it was important. You knew this is a big time title match. They hit it on the money. And they've hit it on the money all 3 years of Winter is Coming.
Then they just forget for a few months.
Yeah, it's like when my one nitpick after watching the show is like, why can't we get this type of effort most weeks?
I will say this, by the way. I totally lost the fuck I was going to say. Ricky. Oh, right. I usually don't care about ratings because I make no money off of it. But I do hope they pull the number. I really need Ricky
Me
to pull
too.
a number, so that's all dummy follows. So we get more Ricky, please.
Will Chisholm says, I love how MJF cut a white privilege
was
promo.
awful.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did. He definitely did.
You're right.
You're right. Oh, we come out to the crowd, and it is AEW Acclaimed every Wednesday.
Right.
The Acclaim is here with a rap. He talks about bringing back the belts like Brittany Griner, and then they get jumped from behind by Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Satam Singh, and Sanjay Dutt. This leads to Jarrett hitting Caster with the guitar, laying him out to end the beatdown after they knock Bowens and Billy Gunn out. Jarrett then gets on the mic and he says, listen, he says, scissor that, slap nuts. And then they hold up the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Man, the AEW Tag Team division, it looks very different than what I remember. This better be just a random Dynamite Rampage. This better be a Rampage title match for sure.
I don't know if I'm the only person, not only person, if we're people our age even like that Jeff Jarrett guitar stuff. Like I like it because it's my childhood, but somebody hitting somebody for guitar, it looks kind of weird. But it's fun for me. I will say this: they need another guy in that group because I can't take Jeff Jarrett as wrestler seriously anymore. It's 2022. But as a guy who just shows up, hits somebody with a guitar, and they talk shit, not bad. I'll take it. I kind of like it, to be honest.
I would take Jarrett as a heel authority figure. Or a babyface authority. Babyface authority figure makes more sense because he can hit the heels with the guitar.
There you go, funny. He'd be fired in a week.
It's like Austin with the stunner when he was commissioner. I mean, just do it.
Oh, yes, that's actually what I'm thinking about. Like, that's a low rent Steve Austin. Like, fuck it.
Caden is get these two off my damn screen. You were there live. You had to see them in full 3D.
Him hitting with a guitar, then hitting his awesome music. Come on.
My World. I'm sorry. My World is an all-time theme song. If you hear the lyrics, it just gets stuck in your head. Will Chisholm says, I blame these fans who thought Double J was just going to do one match. Oh, I never thought he was going to do just one.
I certainly didn't. Child, please.
I never thought that. Next, we had Chris Jericho with a promo following highlights of him losing to Claudio Castagnoli via the swing at Final Battle 2022, losing the ROH World Championship. He says he isn't happy about his loss, but he's ready to win the world title back. But first, he's going to beat up on a jobber tonight. They then move on to Daniel Garcia, who also lost the ROH Pure Championship on Saturday. He gets cut off by Jericho, who says that Garcia never should have lost, and that from now on, Garcia needs to follow his elder in the Jericho Appreciation Society, Sammy Guevara. And Sammy says that Garcia can start off his mentorship, his shadowing of Sammy this Friday. He says things might be over between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Jericho Appreciation Society, but they're not over between me and Jon Moxley, and he's gonna beat him up on Rampage. You literally contradicted yourself in the same fucking sentence, Sammy. Things have to be over between you and Jon Moxley if things are over between the BCC and the JAS. Yo, all of this promo, I was just like, these are all things I don't want to see. Jericho also mentioned that Claudio's championship reign will be a flash in the pan like Joe Exotic and Ricky Starks. So he teased a potential Ricky Starks Chris Jericho feud. He teased getting a rematch against Claudio Castagnoli for the ROH World Championship. We got an announcement of Moxley and Guevara. I was so over this whole fucking sentence because I was like, yeah, on one hand, Ricky Starks versus Chris Jericho, that could be good if it's just Ricky Starks getting a big win on a pay-per-view over Chris Jericho. But then I also remember that Jericho doesn't know how to do just short feuds. It will be 6 months of them trading wins, and that's the worst thing that could have happened to Ricky Starks' momentum coming out of this. I don't want to see Claudio and Jericho coming out of this at all, but what we saw later in the night made me hopeful and not as upset of this whole segment as I was coming out of it.
I don't know about you. Well, I do know about you. You didn't like it. I've been very unimpressed with Chris Jericho for about a month or so, maybe 2 months. To be fair, I said the same thing a year ago when he pulled another gimmick out of his ass. I will say this: I like the Sammy thing, Sammy and Garcia. I just felt like it should have happened a long time ago.
Yes,
it's definitely a repeat of what is that? Wardlow and Spears.
yes,
Yeah,
accountability buddy,
which was awesome. It just was. I'm sorry. Jericho and Ricky Starks. To me, to be fair, I think we kind of hexed ourselves. We're all like, well, we want Ricky to stay important. We want him to stay in the main event. He needs another heel after this, and it's Chris Jericho. That feels like a very, very bad idea. But if he keeps Ricky in the main event or around the main event, I suppose I will take it. Yeah, they are done. It's just Sammy who's still here. Will Chisholm. I don't know why. I don't know why Sammy still has a job, to be completely fucking honest with you. I don't think he does anything that we necessarily need. I even know Sid is gone. Sid is gone. Now he's back.
Yeah, sorry. My Wi-Fi was just like poof and it's gone. But yeah, I don't know about that segment. My boy Blue says I want Jericho to drop the ROH belt to Ricky. Nah, I don't want Ricky to be saddled with that. I don't need to be saddled with that at all. We got Romeo just make it stop. And yes, Frantic World, Mox lied to everyone. We'll get to Mox later in the show because I was like, why'd you lie, man?
I don't get why we're still doing this at all.
I don't understand at all. After Final Battle, it should have been done. Next, we had Brian Cage going one-on-one with Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Jungle Boy going up against another big man following his big choke slam on the apron during the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royale last week. Brian Cage was once again very good, just showing off his power, curling Jungle Boy at one point. He then hit a deadlift superplex. He hit a German suplex at one point. Got a full Nelson slam for a 2 count. Jungle Boy was able to make his comeback following a big destroyer on a desperation destroyer on Cage. He then tried to lock in the snare trap until Prince Nana provided the distraction so the referee didn't see Cage tapping out. However, Cage went knocking into Nana, knocking him off the apron, and then Jungle Boy rolled up the Okana roll on Brian Cage to get the 1-2-3 in just over 8 minutes. I like this match. It was good for what it was. Solid bout with Jungle Boy pulling off another win over a big man. After the match, he did mention his little streak he's been having against big men, against Luchasaurus and Brian Cage, and then he called out Big Bill, called him a big bitch. You had Stokely Hathaway come out and called Jungle Boy a little hoe. I can't get over this man. This man pops me every single time. Lee Moriarty comes out when Jungle Boy comes up the ramp. He jumps Jungle Boy, and then Big Build also comes out. He delivers a choke slam to Jungle Boy. It looks like Jungle Boy is going to be left for dead when Hawk makes his return to AEW Dynamite to a huge pop. This crowd was going nuts. I was like, you would have thought it was like the top baby face in the company when they showed shots of the fans. Hook comes out, the Firm runs off, and Hook helps up Jungle Boy. And give me Jungle Hook! Jungle Hook! And their finisher is bare necessities. I need it in my life. Inject it in my veins. Shouts out to Alex Pulaski. He's the one that I heard that first from. But yes, I need that in my life. Jungle Hook. Give it to me now. What did you think about the match and the post-match here?
Match was fine. To be fair, as much as I enjoy Brian Cage usually. If you've seen one Brian Cage match, you've seen all of them. Sorry, sir. Love you. Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, who I should be calling him. JR's put a lot of work into this, and I'm not even using it properly.
He's like I've been working for you.
It's such a downgrade from being Luchasaurus and one of the best match on that card. Fuck what everybody else says. The best match on that card. That's not
the jungle hook. Yes. Shouts out to Romeo. That's oh man, and that might be my new profile pic. Oh my god, it looks so beautiful, so majestic. Look at these two beautiful young men.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, Tony, take it easy. I'll be nice. I'm keep it together. What was I gonna say? Oh, right. I'm sorry. As much as I love Hook, I was gonna say I love Hook as much as the next guy, but that's clearly not true.
No, you don't.
I left. Big Bill running from Hook. Big Bill backup, by the way.
That was great.
Running from Hook is insanity.
That was great.
That was awful. I was already
bad man.
Like, if I could take you seriously, I remember people lost their minds when Gunther ran away from Strowman. Big Bill just ran away from Hook. What are we even doing?
I'm here for that. Give me Hook.
So
Give me everyone. Give me Paul White, the Big Show, running from Hook. I need everyone to run from Hook because they should know by now he's a bad man.
All you have to do is have him have a stare down and then have Big Bill decide to leave. Instead, he ran like a bitch.
Yeah, I would have liked for Stokely to pull him away. That would have worked.
Oh, see? Simple. Ta-da. Common sense. Who would have thunk it? Fucking Hook. I'm sorry. I know in universe Hook is the baddest of bad men, but you see motherfucker. If you see him come out, imagine you didn't know what was coming. You hear the music, which is badass, by the way. The interest is still badass.
Yes.
Badass.
I think that's the main thing that gets the pop from the crowd.
The crowd loses their fucking minds, and then you're like, oh my God, I don't know. Who is this? And then you see this child come from the back. You go, what the? What is going on? The glass shatters, and here comes Hook. Like, what? What? All right. You say so. If you say so.
He's like, why are y'all running from the white kid I just bought some pot from on the corner?
Fair enough.
No, come on, that's Darby. Oh man, I love this moment. This is what I needed. This is what I needed in my life, Jimmy. Jungle Hook. Jungle Hook.
Ugh.
CM says Hook would take out Big Bill's knees. He knows.
He should have done it.
He knows.
Because Big Bill shouldn't have left.
Annika says, I'm digging this. Big hair, don't care. That's another that should be their catchphrase. There you go. Big hair, don't care.
Hey.
We got Frantic Roller says, this was a good match. Talking about the segment before, Kate says, Jericho and Claudio have a rematch too. Kill me. Love it. Khalil's just here. Hook is stand up. Hook is stand up. We got fed, y'all. That's what I've been looking for. Been looking for it in my life. We got Romeo who says way better than Hookhausen. Glad that's a thing of the past.
Oh my God, what the fuck? Why are we? I'm being nice because all the analogies I just had in my head were awful and would probably get us in real trouble. Very Kanye West like. I'm just saying, it's not hard to be better than Hookhausen. Like that's not difficult.
Not very difficult at all. We got a little backstage promo with the Blackpool Combat Club.
Shave your head, sir.
Putting everyone on notice for 2023, talking about their recent success at Final Battle. Jon Moxley says he's ready for Sammy Guevara. And he says, oh, Hangman Page, same thing he told him last week. You know where to find me. And why don't you bring your Dark Order buddies with you as well? You lied to us, Mox. You lied to us.
Shave your head, sir. You've given it your best go. You've hung on as longer than even humanly possible. Shave it. It's over. Once he loses that little thing in the front, he'll get rid of it.
Hit me with your best shot.
This was Moxley's great, by the way.
Yeah.
And I like him talking for them mostly, with them kind of just coming in at the end to fucking say whatever little horseshit they gotta say.
I only thing I need is like a segment where Moxley is like standing ahead of Claudio and Wheeler, and Brian's back. And Brian has to like explain himself. Like, oh, you were sitting by his bedside all these weeks.
Oh, I do want that.
I want there to be tension between Brian and Moxley over this Regal thing.
I do. I want Dragon to just be kind of a man on a mission at this point, and he's just kind of ignoring anything anybody else had to say. I know what I got to do. I have to murder this man. And I wish you all were quiet as I do it.
I love it. Next, we got probably my favorite promo vignette, because there was a few of them on this show, but my favorite one was of Swerve Strickland showing footage of Swerve and Our Glory's fallout at Final Battle. He talks about how Keith Lee was never his friend, and he doesn't have friends. He has affiliates, people that help him financially, or he helps them. He says they'll meet face to face in a meeting next week to handle things once and for all.
I mean, I guess we didn't have time on this episode, but this definitely should have been this episode.
Or you should have promoted it for Rampage. That's a hook for Rampage. You need hooks for Rampage. I think they did a good job with the Moxley and Page follow up, or that's a hook. But you need more than just one. They need more than one thing for people to watch as far as getting storyline development. And Swerve, you established early on during Swerve's run here and Swerve in Our Glory that they used to be on Rampage all the time. Why not we have that face-to-face meeting on Rampage?
Because we graduated. That's why.
Yeah, that is true. So you graduated from that nigga. Oh.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about. Was it Keith Lee that said when you walk away from your partner, it's something you can't come back from, or something like that? Like, didn't that just happen? Like at the pay-per-view, when do you do that? It wasn't you who walked away. I mean, you got slapped, but still, I'm just saying.
This is true. He had a little bit more motivation, but it was another miscue between them with Keith Lee knocking him out, but hitting him with a big forearm. So.
By the way,
but Swerve, man, just that promo, I was just like, this man is going to be such a big heel next year.
He's great at all versions of it.
He's like the Riddler meets Randall from Monsters Inc. It's so sinister. The way he smiles, it's so great.
Can we talk about Keith Lee catching that big cocksucker at the pay-per-view? I didn't see it. I saw that spot. What the fuck? He didn't even move. Boop.
That match was great, by the way. Definitely that one, and of course FTR Briscoes. Definitely a must.
Absolutely. Why would you put that in the main event?
Anyhow, we had trios action next. The aforementioned House of Black, Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, Brody King with Julia Hart. They have 6-man tag team action here against the Factory. And these poor Factory members, they thought it was all good. Yeah, Nick Camarado stepping up to Julia Hart, and Julia Hart has adopted. She has been given the mist from Malachi Black as he spit the mist in Nick Camarado's face, and the House of Black completely destroy the Factory on the floor, including Buddy Matthews nearly breaking the neck of Lee Johnson with the what was it, Murphy's Law on him on another person's body. They then surround QT Marshall. QT dumbly walks to the middle of the ring where his head gets kicked off by Black. 1, 2, 3 in 22 seconds. This is exactly what this should have been. House of Black looking dominant.
Agreed. That's the last time I want to see it. I don't need to see any more squash. We got to squash the greatest team. I need meat on the bone, please. Or them just murdering random people. But this is fun for what it was. Julia Hart is awesome.
I love Julia Hart in this role.
She's still with that guy, the young darky?
The one in the Factory, Lee Johnson. The aforementioned Lee Johnson. that you completely buried on an episode of Trilogy of AEWramble in the past.
Sorry. Congratulations, sir. Hopefully, you know what? She's engaged to Lee. Sir, I would move the engagement up, because if she gets famous and you're not, I'm letting you know those things don't work.
I'm letting you know what's gonna happen before it happens. You're just trying to be helpful.
Sable and Mark Morrow as fast as you can. Either get over or fucking move on, sir.
Oh Jesus.
Sorry.
Next we had another promo vignette, this time hyping up next week's AEW Women's World Championship matchup. We hear from Hikaru Shida as well as Jamie Hayter. Hikaru Shida is ready to get her championship back and says that she's still considered the best AEW Women's Champion that there's ever been. Jamie Hayter says it's hard versing a hater because all they do is break your bones. And she says she will do that next week. What did you think?
As much as I like her hair here, It feels, and like the last week, it feels very un-Jamie hatery. I don't know how to explain it.
Jamie hatery.
Yeah.
Strong terminology there.
This was awesome. Hater is awesome. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. And I look forward to the match next week, even with Sheeta's fucking hitting a move and yelling to silent spots.
Yeah. We got a couple of comments I want to feature here. We got Khalil who says, I prefer balding midlife crisis Moxley to shaved head Mox.
Okay, I can see that.
That's
There's something about him.
Oh, Annika with a good idea here. I wouldn't mind Hook versus Samoa Joe down the line. If you want to really put over Hook, please give me Hook.
Only if Hook kicked him in the leg and then Samoa Joe picked him up and ate him. It's the only way that match is worth anything.
We got Annika says Swerve lied. His cousin is part of the business. This is true. Swerve knows. We know Swerve always lies.
Who's his cousin?
Will Washington of Crap City Podcast.
He's not part of the business.
He made music for AEW. That's part of business.
He's in the music business. Gotcha.
Frantic World says, I really like this Swerve and Lee storyline. Frantic, me too. Frantic says Swerve is way better than Hit Row. It's not looking good for Hit Row right now. I don't know if you.
When I read Triple H is disappointed, I went.
Yeah. That's what literally, if you watch the comments of that tweet, it's multiple people pointing out that was the worst one.
If
you brought back Destiny's Child, but no Beyonce. You brought back NSYNC and no Justin Timberlake.
But to be fair,
what were you thinking?
If he brings back all these people, then doesn't bring back Hit Row. I'm not sure the first thing in your head that pops up. The first thing in my head that pops up is, what the fuck? Triple H, you too?
Got me there. Got me there. That is a good point. Lee, CM says Lee was like, yeah, let me get out of this before my wife to be gets me too.
It's over.
Fair.
It's over, sir.
It is over. We got CM says NSYNC doesn't need Justin. JC was, it is the better sinking. We're not really talking. Yeah, I'm not really talking about that. I'm just talking about who's the star, who are the people here to see, and that's Justin, and that's Swerve. But we go backstage. We got Renee interviewing Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Rebel. They don't think Hikaru Shida is ready for Jamie Hayter, and then Sky Blue interrupts and makes a challenge to Britt Baker for this Friday on Rampage, and Britt Baker is offended by the challenge and interrupting her promo time, but we get announced later that match is official. Sky Blue needs more work on the mic, I will say.
She does. Though I'm glad we're getting delusional Britt again. That's all I care about.
Yes, I'm here for it.
Yeah, you interrupt me. Like, what? That's hilarious. Can't wait to see fucking Britt Baker versus Mandy Rose in 90 days.
And Mercedes Monet.
It's not happening, sir.
Next up, we got the match that everybody's talking about from this episode that no one thought we'd be talking about from this episode. Chris Jericho going one-on-one with, as he called him, the Jobber. And the Jobber is none other than Action Andretti. And this, I don't know if this was on purpose or not, but they literally botched his lower third, and they put Jericho's lower third for him before the match. Jericho comes out. He starts hammering Andretti, and the fans start chanting, "Let's go, Jobber."
That's hilarious.
Let's go, Jobber. Action manages a shot of his own, a bottom rope splash, gets a 2 count. Jericho isn't having any of this. He hits a big old Death Valley driver. He starts dominating Andretti, and then finally he hits the code breaker, and you think it's a Jobber. This is 1-2, kick out, and the crowd literally went on fire. The roof blew off of this place when he kicked out at 2, because they were kind of jokingly into this, and I think we all thought this was just going to be, Jericho's just going to play around with this Jobber. The Jobber's going to look good, get a 2 count, maybe get some offense in, and then Jericho's going to win in the end. So we're back from break. Action is going wild. He gets a big boot up in the corner. The fans start going nuts for that. He starts getting chops that the fans are just getting louder and louder with each chop. Jericho cuts him off with a poke to the eye. He then misses the Judas effect, and Andretti rolls him up for a 2 count. Springboard a spinning kick to the head, gets another 2 count on Jericho. Jericho gets clotheslined to the floor. Andretti hits an Arabian press to the floor and drops Jericho again. He comes back with a springboard, but Jericho catches him into the walls of Jericho, but Action is able to get him into a small package. Jericho gets him up for what looks like a power slam, and Andretti hits a DDT, and then follows up with a running shooting star press. 1, 2, 3. My initial reaction was like, what the fuck did I just watch? Did that just happen? Jericho loses to Action Andretti. The crowd is going nuts. Andretti celebrates after the matchup. This crowd is on their feet, cheering for this man. This is the closest thing that I think I have seen on network television in wrestling since 1-2-3 Kid versus Razor Ramon. Just a surprise, out of nowhere upset from a virtual unknown against an established talent. And I'm sorry to say, even though that is the reference I'm making, Jericho is a much bigger star to AEW than Razor Ramon was to WWE. So this makes this probably as much or even bigger of a surprise out of nowhere. Following the break, they showed the replay of the win again and showed that Chris Jericho was going nuts. And Tony Khan, after on Twitter, announced that Action Andretti is officially #all elite. Jimmy, what did you think about this match and the result here?
Match was a lot of fun. I think it's probably going to be overrated because how great that fucking crowd was. And the win was unexpected. More than unexpected, shocking. It wasn't even a fluke win. It was like a win-win. I will say this, however. Watching Action Andretti, which is a horrific name, I wondered what he has that we already don't have in a roster, number one. And number two, we don't have in a just as light, though ethnically unpure, Dante Martin. Why is this not Dante Martin's spot? Besides the fact that it's Chris Jericho doing it, and Dante Martin is a fan of those armbands. I'm just asking. I'm the only one who had the thought. It's just me. I'm the only one who had this thought. I'm just wondering. I was like, Dante is just as good, if not better. I don't understand why this is not his spot. Outside of Tony Khan and Chris Jericho don't like his armbands.
Well, it had to be an unknown. It had to be. Yeah, it had to be an unknown guy.
Yeah.
I love how you're just not accepting this. You're trying to put racism into this one.
I'm sorry. I'm so being hyped over Action Andretti. Why? I've seen all this before. Yeah. Whatever. Fair enough. It was fun.
I think the match really picked up and hit a next gear after that kick out. Like the crowd was just
Jericho fucking stayed in the same gear he's always in. Love you, Jericho. Love you, Jericho. I'm just saying, you don't love me back. Nor does your wife. I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus.
Racism was always funny to me.
Y'all are the worst.
Yeah, this is good. I'm mostly joking. It was fun.
I'm
glad he's here. You put him on ROH. Agreed, CM. Me and Frantic World.
You, my boy Blue says, "Oh, Action Andretti."
Next 1-2-3 Kid. Yeah, that worked out great.
No, it's all about the follow-up here, because with the way Jericho reacted in the ring and then after in the back, going livid, you would expect that the follow-up is Jericho wanting a rematch to prove that it was a fluke. And I much rather Jericho go on a path of getting this guy over than facing Claudio Castagnoli or sticking Ricky Starks in a 6-month feud. I'd much rather this direction than anything else.
If I had to guess, this is going to be a repeat of who was it? Oh, Triple H and Shelton Benjamin. He'll beat him a couple more times by fluke. Which I'll be fine with. Or maybe Ricky calls him a match, which could also be fun. Yes. Because now it's a whole scenario where they can use this feud to build, because it's not going to be, if this is a ongoing story with Action and Jericho, they're going to probably use that to further Ricky Starks versus Chris Jericho, because that seems more like the Revolution matchup.
So you can they're both coming off of losses. It's like, whose loss was worse? I lost to the world champion. You lost to a jobber.
A jobber.
In a lot of ways, it's similar to the start of Jericho and MJF's feud, because they both came off of losses at All Out 2020 to Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy, respectively, and then that started the whole one-upsmanship between them that led to them eventually teaming and led to the feud between them.
I think it's gonna be the first feud Chris Jericho ever has with Andretti, by the way, that ever elevates somebody else. Sorry, every time Chris Jericho's in a feud, maybe through no fault of his own, we're not even sure, but the other person always comes out looking worse somehow. Just Eddie, the BCC, he killed the BCC. How's that possible?
He did kill the BCC. Kaden says the Ocho chants are also great. It's crazy that Jericho has had such an exceptional year in the ring for his age and where he was 2 years ago, but has had such a bad year when it comes to effective feuds. It's so weird. He's had some of the best singles matches in like 10 years for him, yet has had some of the most ineffective feuds that have killed stables and killed guys' momentum in 1 year. It's a very juxtaposition type of year for Chris Jericho overall, 2022.
Will Chisholm, he wears BLM armband. He does.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ricky calls it the greatest jobber match of all time. We got Ricky who says Jericho is heel god. We also got
on the roster.
We got Kid Get Money with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Kid Get Money. And always, Kid Get Money knows what he is doing. Knows what we are looking for from a Kid Get Money super chat. As he says, if you like underdogs winning like Action Andretti, tune into the Underdog Jaguars win against all odds against the Cowboys this Sunday. Hashtag Duval.
Oh, that's hilarious. He never
fails. Never fails. The consistency is widely commendable. And I do agree with this. Do you agree? The biggest upset in AEW history.
What are the other contenders?
I'm not really sure. I mean, Sammy beating Cody in the ladder match, because we knew the whole thing with Cody not having a contract, but a lot of people thought that that was going to be an angle with Cody being a free agent.
But even then it's a ladder match. And number two, it's Sammy is a guy.
That is true. That is true.
I'm sorry, but the losing to a shooting star press is that's up there.
Yeah, because I did not expect this at all.
It didn't look good, to be honest. Sorry, I know we were supposed to be enjoying the moment. Let's be honest, that's not an effective finishing move. It just isn't.
No, it's not. It's not. Jericho has lost to two moves that never did anyone. The swing.
It's hilarious. Yes, a standing shooting star, and a swing. You stink.
Jericho's temper tantrum was hilarious. Yes, it was. It was. We got Annika.
Who would have thought?
Annika says action needs to be in the house of Half Black. Yes, with Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, and Top Flight. Ricky says if you can't have Will Ospreay, get Action Andretti.
Oh shit! He does look like a strength version of Ospreay.
And Caden kind of repeated my point here, saying I think they chose because they wanted a pure unknown. People know Dante.
Yeah.
Hey, he's half black. He's half black. He's just as half black as Dante, to be fair.
But he knows his place.
Jesus Christ.
No armband to me, sir. Absolutely.
The words and opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
Can't with you.
All right, Army Black Dude versus MJF. Right. Right, I forgot.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sean Dean, but he only won by like count out and disqualification.
Got Uncle Ruckus beat Triple. Brooklyn Brawler Triple H. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I thought Taka Michinoku in Triple H. That's my favorite jobber versus a top star type.
Did he win that match?
Yeah, Taka won. No. Triple H I think won it because it was for the WWF Championship.
Yeah, but Brawler beat Triple H.
Yeah, we've got Brooklyn Brawler beating
That's a great
Triple H on SmackDown. We got Shin Andretti defeating the Ocho. I don't think that was such a big one because Brooklyn Brawler wasn't really an unknown. We knew of Brooklyn Brawler.
He was unknown. He was the eternal jobber.
I compare Brooklyn Brawler beating Triple H to Barry Horowitz beating the Skip because they were like established jobbers.
Yeah.
Instead of an unknown like 1, 2, 3 Kid. Huh?
It's more impressive. A bum that we know is a bum beating a main eventer is more impressive than somebody we don't know beating main eventer passes prime.
We got CM who says, but you can visually see Dante is action could be crazy. Y'all are wild. Y'all are wild. We are moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Ricky Starks.
Not wrong though. Not wrong. It's just funny to read.
Ricky Starks is ready for his big AEW World Title match because he has been working so hard to get here. Tonight, everything comes to a head, and no one cares about anything MJF says. There are a lot of people who want to see Starks do what he can, and he is a reflection of what MJF wants to be. Starks is going, he's going hard with these promos, just bringing out the passion, bringing out the emotion, because MJF did mention how, Ricky, he has no pressure on him because Ricky's gonna let all the people down that believe in him, and Ricky talked about how that type of pressure he couldn't handle MJF. So I love how the promos, even though they weren't like a natural promo exchange, they were responding to one another.
Yes, and it was great. This wasn't last week's, but it was good. It was what it needed to be, as MJF was tonight. Perfect. Only we got a couple more weeks of this, like an actual feud, but whatever.
Honestly, coming out of this and after the promo last week, I'm gonna repeat it again. The right move was to break up the Diamond Ring and the World Title match.
Agreed.
That would have been the right move.
You were right. Somebody had a good idea. It might have been somebody who was fucking awful too. Who's the one that's always next to fucking Uncle Dave?
Brian Alvarez.
Yeah, that one. Who's by the way, he's an idiot. I just watched him talk. Like he's a legit moron. I don't mean that rudely. Might be something wrong with him. I was over the top. I apologize.
No, I don't know what's worse, what you said or what this dude just wrote in the comments. Galil says Action has that nigga forehead wrinkle at 23. That's how I knew. Looked like my dad ass. Shit. Oh
my dad has. No, whoa, that's hilarious.
Wow, that was.
He said, Alvarez said after Starks hit that spear last week, he should have said we should do the Dynamite ring match tonight, which would have been perfect, actually.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It would have been a nice little capper for what was a great.
You're right. I apologize.
Good point. His thoughts is his own, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we always say. We get a quick little promo vignette from FTR talking about the double dog collar match with the Briscoes and the Guns attacking them after the match. And now they want to get revenge on the Guns and beat their ass. And next week they will face the Guns on the Holiday Bash edition. I will say, ever since FTR said that shit at New Japan, they've been showing up more on Dynamite.
I wouldn't mind a story of FTR. They've had the greatest year of their career. One of the greatest tag team years ever, quite frankly. Yes. I wouldn't mind if they went on like a losing streak here.
I think that's what's gonna happen. What I would like them to do is they lose all their titles. They lost to the Briscoes. They face Hermanos Lee, Dragon Lee, and Dralistico at the end of the month in AAA for the AAA tag team titles. Then they face Bishamon at Wrestle Kingdom for New Japan. I would like to see them lose all the titles, then have to come back, get a couple of wins before Revolution. And, now that they have no titles, they're once again going to get that last shot at the AEW World Championship. And you could play into the rumors. AEW is known for playing into reports and rumors and say it's title versus career.
I was about to say that would be great. First of all, just to hear Dax cut we have to win this fucking match promo would be amazing, by the way. That'd be fun. I'm here for it.
Ricky says FTR deserves better than the Guns. They're just natural heels to just put anybody against, honestly. We also got Will Chisholm saying, nice to see the AEW Women's match in the 920 spot indeed. So let's get into that, as it was Ty Melo with Sammy Guevara coming out on stage with her before.
Yo, I had an awful thought, and I apologize for this. My first thought was, why is this on TV? That's hot. And I went, oh, that's not a woman. That's Sammy.
The words and opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
Early, my brain is all over the place. I'm sorry. Oh, that's hot. Oh, grown ass man. My apologies.
So yes, Ty Melo goes one off with Ruby Soho here. Ruby trying to get revenge for Ty Melo, injuring her wrist as well as her nose. Ruby was going wild, brawling with Ty early on in this match until Ty started attacking the injured nose. However, it wasn't enough as she went for Ty KO. Ruby was able to break it up, knee to her face, and then she delivered the Destination Unknown to get the win over Ty Melo in just over 9 minutes. Ruby Soho looking strong in her first match back from injury. After the match, though, Anna JAS attacks Ruby Soho from behind, laying her out with a gory bomb to the injured nose, and then standing tall with Ty Melo here. What did you think about the match? I will say the crowd was into this one. This was fine, but the crowd was into it.
You weren't, clearly. You sped through that shit. I did like the match, by the way. I don't know if they just saw Athena get a belt, so like we're just gonna start fucking people up, because they were going really hard at each other. I was like, holy shit, let's go. That was great. I love the win, obviously. Poor fucking listen, I love how much she tries. Tay Melo, whatever the fuck. She's just not a heel. I'm sorry. She seems like a sweet young lady. It's hard. It's like I don't buy any of this at all. But you're giving it a shot.
Especially when you send Sammy to the back, she loses about 90% of her scummy ability without Sammy.
Anna Jay, though, is a natural heel, as I've been telling you all for forever. That was fun.
She looked great in the black as well.
Oof.
We got DJ Eric, who says Jimmy, that was fucking Randy Savage.
Sorry, Sammy. It's the hat, the clean shave thing that just.
Got CM says, Jimmy, don't do the lesbians like that. We
don't know one that dresses like Sammy, don't we? We don't know one that dresses like Sammy. I know at least 3 off the top of my fucking head that dress like Sammy. Backwards hat, t-shirt.
That's fair. That's fair, y'all. He makes good points. I can't say he hasn't. Next, we got another one that I really enjoyed on this show. As they went backstage, Alex Marvez is in the trainer's room with Hangman Adam Page, who says that
the trainer's room is t-shirt. I mean, it's fucking regular outfit, by the way. What kind of work are we doing? Checking his eyes.
Checking his eyes. He was buttoning up his shirt, I guess. Hangman says that he remembers being knocked out in Cincinnati. He was taken away in an ambulance and woke up where the medics were asking him questions. Page remembers being in Cincinnati. He remembered the date, October 18th. But then they gave him his phone, said that his phone was, going crazy with everybody worried about him. And then when he was about to, unlock his phone, he saw a picture of his son, and the doctors was like, oh, your son's so cute. What's his name? And he couldn't remember his son's name. He said he looked down into those beautiful green eyes, and he just couldn't remember for hours. He couldn't remember. So even though he's not medically cleared, he will be on Rampage, and he will be there to fight Jon Moxley to take away something from him like he did from me. My God, I was like, what the hell? This came out of nowhere. That was one of the Hangman's best promos.
I don't know where's the best example. He was talking, and I was like, this feels weird, like a weird spot to have Hangman in. Why are we so late with Hangman? Not only weeks-wise, but like in the show. This was very late in the show for a Hangman promo. He started talking about he felt fine. I was like, oh, well, I'm glad. So why are we so mad at fucking Moxley? If you were just out for a little bit, who gives a fuck? Then he couldn't remember his son's name. I went, oh my God, that was almost heart-wrenching. It was goddamn beautiful. Go ahead, Hangman. Should have happened a while ago, though.
We can all admit the two nitpicks that I have is that one should have happened like a week ago, and two, they should have went straight to dark and went straight to a commercial break. We didn't need the fucking Rampage and Dynamite rundowns right after that. Like, we should have cut to black right after that. That's my one nitpick. The entire night for production, because production had a great show, but that was my one nitpick. As far as the pacing of the show, it would have been appropriate to go straight to black.
Agreed.
We do have a super chat donation here, Jimmy, from Kid Get Money, who says Tony Khan made Moxley give how to concuss a cowboy speeches on all week at Jaguars practices. So plan your fantasy lineups accordingly. Kid Get Money, you always deliver the goods.
I'll tell you how he gets his money. He gets his money by betting against the Jaguars. Clearly. Because there's no way he should have this amount of money if he puts any money on the Jaguars.
That's the only way that kid gets money.
What's Moxley going to respond? How's Moxley going to respond to this? Harshly will be the answer.
Yes. I want him to respond like Brock Lesnar responded to Eve, complaining about not having a job. I don't give a fuck about your kids. I
couldn't remember my kids either when I was drinking.
Could say that.
Life is rough. I don't know what to tell you. Get over it.
That sounds like exactly what Moxley wants to say. EBB says that was a fantastic promo. Love how different Hangman's promos are to everyone else's. You know when he actually is booked on the show and given the chance to talk.
It's so weird. Hangman, Eddie, Ricky. I'm gonna say Moxley. Probably Moxley, and I'll go for MJF. I don't people that feel like actual people to me on the show.
Yeah, and it's rare you feel like that in wrestling. So
yes.
Like they capture it very well. Yeah, I agree. Moxley, Hangman, Eddie, those are like real fleshed out human beings. And a lot of their reactions are thus like that, and that's why this Hangman promo worked. But here we got EB also saying they're definitely making sure to drag this one out till Revolution. Think we'll get a singles on a Dynamite, then lights out at the pay-per-view.
Ooh.
I mean, honestly, I would love to them to drag it out and not do a singles match on Dynamite. Do the trio. He suggested a trios match, Moxley. So you give it a couple of weeks. You know, you can still say Hangman still recovering, and then the first Dynamite of the new year, you could do the trios match, and then from there you can build to Revolution.
When's pay-per-view?
The first weekend of March.
God damn. Yeah, we got 2 months to do a singles match. It's tough.
It's tough stuff. We got the lineups for Rampage and Dynamite. One of the matchups on Rampage will be an 8-man tag team matchup as Orange Cassidy, Best Friends, and Dustin Rhodes will face Kip Sabian, Trent Seven, The Butcher, and The Blade. Dustin said he is coming with Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, and Spooky Boy over here, and they are going to beat down on Kip, Trent, Butcher, and Blade on Rampage.
This Butcher's getting his shine.
I liked him calling Danhausen Spooky Boy.
I love that.
And like I said earlier in the show, they really did a great job building up the main event earlier in the night. We got the MJF and Ricky Starks promos we talked about earlier. We then saw Ricky later in the night getting ready for the matchup, as well as MJF, where he was getting a massage while texting. This was great stuff. And that led into the main event of the show. Ricky Starks getting his shot at the AEW World Championship and Dynamite Diamond Ring against the owner of the Triple B, MJF. And these two had really what I call like an old school 80s type of matchup. Like, yes. A lot of the stuff they did was not very like innovative. It was very basic, but you got the biggest response possible from the crowd, and that's what makes a great match. You know, you had MJF.
You tell your boys that.
Huh?
You tell your boys that.
Who?
Fucking the Elite.
Shut up. You got MJF going after the ribs of Ricky Starks, working them over. I like that because I was then reminded of all the fucking matches Ricky Starks has had in the last month. because he had that Brian Cage match on Rampage on a Friday, then right back to back had the Full Gear match with Brian Cage. Wednesday, the Dynamite following that, Ethan Page. Last week, the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal, and then this week, this match. So all of that accumulation of damage MJF was working over throughout the match. He then tried to focus on the arm. He got Ricky Starks into the salt of the earth arm bar, and Ricky was fighting to the ropes. Every time Ricky tried to fight to the ropes, MJF would improve on the hold. He grabbed the other arm at one point, grabbed his leg until Ricky was eventually able to get to the ropes. Ricky got a strong near fall with a Liger bomb. He then tried to hit the Rochambeau, but MJF was able to flip out of it. He hid behind the referee until Ricky pulled the referee out of the way. MJF used that distraction to hit a low blow, small package, 1, 2, 3. MJF still AEW World Champion. The finish was a little bit flat, but exactly what it probably should have been. MJF just simply doing what he had to do to get the win, sneaking out the win, and protecting Ricky in this loss, despite him taking the loss here. MJF, after the match, was celebrating. He looked like he was walking to the back to leave when the music of Bryan Danielson hit, and Bryan was he was pissed on his face. He ran after MJF. MJF booked it. And Bryan just had to stop because MJF
busted his ass.
He almost busted his ass as he tried to jump over the guardrail. That shit was hilarious. We end the show with Bryan chasing MJF. MJF posing at the top of the crowd, and then Bryan going back into the ring and helping Ricky Starks up. And the night ends with Ricky Starks music as Bryan Danielson raises his hand.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice little touch. You don't want to forget about Ricky. You don't want to just move on from Ricky. You want to continue and build up your main event program for Revolution, but you also want to spotlight on Ricky. So I love the touch of having the night end with Ricky's music and his hand being raised. I really enjoyed this match. I thought this match overexceeded. It had a great crowd. I thought both guys delivered here. MJF is perfect in this heel champion role, and he had really like a Ric Flair 80s type of matchup against the hometown babyface here. What did you think?
Very old school. I loved every bit of it. That's why I like MJF. He's from a bygone era, quite frankly. Fucking to see him be handed the abdominal stretch spot, which I've seen Triple H do, which I've seen Ric Flair do, and then the referee kicking the foot. Like, I've seen this for 30 years, and I love it every time. It's so over the top, and it's so much fun. I got to be honest. That submission spot might be one of the best spots I've ever seen. The arm bar. No, not that arm. No, not the leg either. That was fucking great. I really like this match. I didn't feel like it got to where it could have gone with maybe 5 more minutes. But it was still really good. And I thought Ricky looked as good as they were going to let Ricky look in defeat. And I like how he got the next program ready. It was, it worked. There's a hook for next week's Dynamite, which we always miss.
Yeah, that was the main thing, that there's a lot of things coming out of this episode, despite this episode being, in my opinion, one of the best episodes of Dynamite this year. They created a lot of hooks for people to keep watching. If you are not totally done with the Blackpool Combat Club Jericho Appreciation Society feud, you still are able to see Moxley and Sammy Guevara have a pretty good matchup. But more importantly, most people are going to be interested in Rampage just to see the follow-up to Hangman and Moxley there. Then you got Holiday Bash next week. You got the Elite and Death Triangle, no DQ. You got FTR is going to be on the show. You got the Women's Championship on the show. Then you also got the main event program set up with MJF and Bryan Danielson. You got what's going to happen next with, now you have this whole new kid, this whole new jobber, Action Andrade got signed, and how Jericho's going to respond. What is Jericho going to have a feud with Ricky Starks? There's a lot of different things that make you want to watch next week to find out what happens.
And I got to be honest, what made me want to watch next week is the way this show was booked and formatted. I was shocked. Clearly, Triple H getting his resume ready before when Vince comes back and kicks him the fuck out. Good job, H. We welcome you with open hands.
We appreciate you, Triple H, for working with Tony Khan. I think the perfect combination would be Tony Khan's just wild dream match type of brainy ideas with Triple H's formatting. I think that would be the perfect combination.
That's close. I would say Tony Khan's money. Tony Khan's daddy with Triple H's formatting. Yes. Tony Khan's roster with Triple H's formatting. Thank you. Yes. Appreciate it.
Why can't I deal with you? And we should also mention, because you've been mentioning this for a while, is you always ask, who is the AEW Kevin Dunn? And apparently we got the answer to that as they had a big hire this week, a backstage hire, Mike Mansouri, who announced his return to wrestling as senior VP and co-executive producer for AEW. He was previously the VP of global TV production for WWE, and a lot of people had pegged him to be the next in line to fill the position of Kevin Dunn when Triple H took over as his regime. He was still out of wrestling. He chose to leave wrestling when Vince McMahon was in power, and a lot of people thought they were going to bring him back to fill in the Kevin Dunn spot under Triple H, and AEW swooped in and got him. And I think I saw a difference in the production and just in the pacing overall in the show. I thought it was one of the best paced shows of the year.
Oh, certainly, easily. Definitely of recent memory, because Lord knows I felt like I was watching a different show. I got to see Ricky Starks and MJF 3 times a piece. It was just shocking. We got follow-up to Jericho's fucking loss where he's slamming shit around. Who would have thought? Common fucking sense. It just was. He was so fast.
He was
so fast.
He booked it, yo. He booked it.
There's one other thing I can't remember, but it was all great. Almost no complaints outside of, vaginas. But what can we do? They have a defect that Tony Khan won't let them live down.
We got EBB who says, was a bit of a letdown by this match personally. Maybe my expectations were too high. I don't know. Would have liked them to get a little more time. There were no big near fall for Ricky. I believe it's still decent. I will agree that last part, I was not let down by the match, but there was no big near fall moment for Ricky. Agreed. Except for maybe the sit out powerbomb, but he's never won anybody. He's never won a match.
Yeah.
So
it probably would have been the spear if he didn't have the
injured arm. Yeah. I like his selling though. He sold the arm well. Frantic Rail saying the main event was great. So different ends of the spectrum here. And Annika agreeing there definitely should have been 2 matches, one for the diamond ring, the other for the belt. Yeah, I was like, Ricky got to get something out of this. Like I would have had him win the ring at least.
I don't get why they dummy felt that the Dynamite ring added all that much to this match. Like it's all on the line. Like, yeah, but so what?
It did. You could have really split this up. Like you could have even had like a whole story of Ricky saying, I still got my diamond ring match and I'm gonna beat you for that, and then eventually I'm gonna hunt you down and take the title as well.
Or better yet, how cool is it to have that MJF who is on his phone chilling before the first match, and then Ricky wins the fucking Dynamite ring. And all of a sudden he takes Ricky a little more seriously for the next.
Yeah, and then he has to cheat to win.
Ta-da.
Boom.
Romeo's hilarious. He won't let this go.
He will not let it go. He is still you can tell the way Romeo comments, he has probably nightmares of the swing now. Especially,
I agree. It was dumb to me, but whatever.
I loved it.
To end the pay-per-view and the title reign?
Yes, absolutely.
Would it have come off better if it wasn't the fucking main event after we just watched 4 people have fucking 4 counts of a murder? And now we're ending with a giant swing?
Maybe it would have came off better if it opened the show instead of closing. All right, let's put our thumbs in the middle for Winter is Coming 2022. Sound off in the live chat. Let us know your match of the night, MVP, LVP, thumbs up, thumbs down, and out of 10, what did you give the show? But me and Jimmy, 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across the board for Winter is Coming 2022. Jimmy, out of 10, what did you give the show?
At 8.
8 out of 10. I'm going 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed the show. The pacing was on point. I enjoyed the main event. I enjoyed the opener. Hangman's promo was tremendous. And Action Andrade with one of the biggest upsets I've seen on national television and wrestling in years. In at least 3 decades, maybe, since the 1, 2, 3 kid. That's how strong I feel about that.
9 though?
Yes, 9.
Tell me out the window. At least the rest of you are being fucking reasonable.
Match of the
Wrong,
night.
but you're reasonable at least.
Match of the night. What did you give it to?
Ooh. I think I'm gonna go with the opener, even with Matt Jackson running. That was gonna be the title, by the way. It was gonna be unathletically inclined by Matt Jackson.
I like absolute version better. I would go with, man, that's tough. I would go with the opener. I'll go with the opener. MVP of the night. Who you got?
Thank you, sir. I didn't mean it. Just my immediate thoughts. Shit. What's his name again? Kevin Dunn's name?
Mike Mansuri. Mike Mansuri gonna get MVP of the show? Are you kidding me?
Did you fucking see the show? Did you see the common sense booking? The formatting? Everything making sense? We got a main event we build to with promos and then fucking backstage interactions. Jericho loses a big match. All of a sudden we see his response to the big fucking deal that just happened. Common sense and Hangman. Good job, sir.
MVP of the show is Action Andretti.
Oh my God.
The star is born. 1, 2, 3, action.
Patrick Mahomes over here. All right.
1, 2, 3, action.
Steph Curry off his diet.
LVP for the show.
Oh, hey. Ooh. Oh, fucking. Oh, actually, no, it's really easy. Big Bill, you're up. What the fuck? You're up. What the poor bastard? You lost every bit of heat you had with me. It's over.
I'm going with Sky Blue. Sky Blue. Sky Blue is
Tony Khan? Jesus.
Sky Blue is my LVP for the show. She got an opportunity to talk. It didn't work.
No, I'm not. No, we're not praising the. I'm not praising the booking. I'm praising the formatting, sir. Formatting.
There you go.
Don't get crazy. Don't get crazy, frantic world. Not get crazy.
He's like Tony Khan staring at Jimmy, waiting to get an MVP award one time. Will it ever happen?
Yes, when he steps down. That takes some real forethought, some real foresight. Good.
See, Will Sism agreed with me. And Romeo says LVP mocks for being a liar. He's taking this hard. Jimmy, that brings us to a close on AEWramble. Please let the people know where they can follow you on social media. What you got going on your channel?
At Jimmy Macram on Twitter, usually Instagram and YouTube, where we do things.
Sounds good. Things over there on the Jimmy Macram YouTube channel. You can find me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TrueHillHeat. Subscribe to the THH Sports YouTube channel. They'll be going live for Thursday night football later tonight, as well as for sure on Sunday for our NFL watch-alongs. They'll also be doing watch-alongs for the World Cup as well. Join us over at twitch.tv/TrueHillHeat Gaming tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We got Blunt Impact, watching Impact on Access TV. So join us live over there, and patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. You can check out my latest edition of SP3's Raw Report, talking about this week's Monday Night Raw, featuring 2 number 1 contender matches, with Bayley going one-on-one with Alexa Bliss, as well as Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. Just $3 a month, exclusive content, as well as a True Hill Heat prediction champion at patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. And I'll be back here on the channel tomorrow, 10:05 a.m. Eastern Time, with Jay News for our NJPW World Tag League and Super Junior Tag League tournament finals review, as well as on Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, True Hill Heat 205 with special guest Kate Hensler from Fightful. So thank you all for why was that look? What was that look?
I know there was no look. Kate Hensler, sure. I look who it is. Oh, is that Kate at Fightful?
Yeah,
I've heard of her.
So there you go. You have heard of her.
Henry Cavill, yeah. Another great talent let down by bad booking. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it, ladies?
Yes, Hyperion. It's the most obvious booking on the fucking planet. Have Henry Cavill play fake Superman in the MCU? Of course. It's the most common sense thing ever.
There we go. We get these genius ideas. Follow Jimmy. You could talk more about that. We'll be back here next Thursday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. For Jimmy, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been AEWramble, episode 72, the Absolute Edition. We are signing off until next time.
That post is clean.
Indeed. Thank you, Romeo.